Yes. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back to the Bhagavad Gita Study Circle. We are in 172nd session of the Bhagavad Gita Study Circle. And today we are starting a brand new chapter, the last chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, that is the 18th chapter, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. So this is a very interesting chapter. There are some very important things Krishna is talking about, which are for our practical application. So Krishna is talking about some very practical tips that he's going to share with us in the 18th chapter. So 18th chapter is very important, one of the longest chapter in the Bhagavad Gita, and it ends very beautifully. So 18th chapter, practically in one sense, Bhagavad Gita has ended in the 17th chapter. 18th chapter is kind of a summary of all that has been discussed previously, and plus there are some very interesting things that Krishna is going to share with all of us. So before we begin, let us chant the pranam mantras. It will be displayed on the screen, so kindly join your palms. And let's dedicate this session to His Divine Grace, Isi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, and my beloved spiritual master. Okay, so let us chant Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyat Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Hare Krishna. So, we have Lakshmi Mataji joining us on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining. This chapter, like I told you, is a summary of the Bhagavad Gita. There are many things that are described here, which are already in detail discussed in the previous chapters, but at the same time, along with that, there are some very important topics which are not discussed earlier. And these important topics are for introspection in our spiritual life. These are certain things that we need to introspect as devotee, as a sadhaka. And what are those important things? Tyaga, renunciation, giving up things. Then there is karma, action. Action we have discussed in detail, but now there is another aspect to that. So karma also will be discussed in another with another new angle. So that will be very nice. So tyaga, renunciation, karma, action, jnana, knowledge, how to get rid of this material world. Karta means one who is the doer and how he has to perform actions. And buddhi, intelligence. How can we use our intelligence in a way that it is conducive for us to live a very happy life in this very lifetime and the next? Okay, and dhriti. Dhriti means very strong determination to achieve that ultimate goal. So there are some very interesting practical topics which Krishna is going to explain in the 18th chapter. Now, all these topics, the tyaga, karma, jnana, karta, buddhi, dhritihi, all these things will be discussed with respect to three modes. I have earlier also in the chapter, the three modes of material nature, we have discussed that how these three modes are a very integral part of our life because they are influencing us in so many ways. So basically, the whole creation begins with this creation of the three modes, right? So we are very much affected by sattva, rajas, and tamas. Most of our actions, our thinking, all these things are actually driven by these three modes, very powerful forces in the material world, right? So there are some very nice motivational and inspirational verses also in the Bhagavad Gita, this particular chapter, which can help a dejected person to bounce back. You know, in life, many times we are morose, we are put down, and uh, we are mentally and emotionally very weak. And at that time, if we can get these inspirational, motivational verses of Bhagavad Gita, I think a person will really bounce back and he will start doing what he is supposed to do. And that exactly what happened to Arjuna also. You know, he was dejected, morose, confused. But then when he listens to this, then he's ready now. He's ready to bounce back and ready to fight. Right? So also in this chapter we will see how much Krishna loves us. Krishna, we will see the way he's talking to Arjuna is now the instruction mode is gone. You know, all I'm the master, I'm the this thing is all gone. But now he's out of compassion, out of that love for Arjuna. He speaks certain things, and it is not just for Arjuna. In fact, when Lord says that we are his Amsha, the same love is available for us also. Now, it is our duty to reach out to him and seek his blessings and accept that love that Krishna wants to offer to all of us. Right? So it's very interesting that we need to take this opportunity to get connected to Krishna. And you'll see there are very nice ways Krishna is saying that I will be there with you all the time. Right? So Krishna is going to repeat this again and again, repeatedly, that I will help you in your perfection. He emphasizes on that. He emphasizes because he loves us. So it is always a very reciprocal relationship that we are supposed to have with Krishna. It is not a one directional love. With Krishna, it is always bi-directional. So he loves us back even more than what we can offer him. Right? So that we have to understand. And to understand that, this 18th chapter, we will see certain glimpses of how Krishna wants to reciprocate. At least we should be aware that yes, Krishna is ready to reciprocate. Am I even taking that first step for him to come towards us? That first step we need to take. Sunshine is everywhere. All the way, sunshine is there. If you're sitting in a dark room, we cannot blame the sunshine. It is our duty to go and open the window. Sunshine will not come and open the window for us. At least that first step of opening the window is what we are supposed to do. Right? So, this 18th chapter, we will see Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. It is yoga, and then it is Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. What is this Moksha Sannyasa Yoga? That we will understand one by one. Okay? So, we also have Dev with us. So, Hina Mataji, please unmute yourself and let's chant the first verse of the 18th chapter. Very interesting. So, let us chant the first verse of the 18th chapter. Arjuna Uvacha
अर्जुन उवाच
Sannyasasya Mahabaho
सन्न्यासस्य महाबाहो
Tatvam Hichami Veditum
तत्त्वम् इच्छामि वेदितुम्
Yagasya cha Rishikesha
त्यागश्च च ऋषिकेश
Pritakeshi Nishudana.
पृथक् केशिनिषूदन.
Wonderful. Please read the translation.
Arjuna said, O mighty armed one, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation, tyaga, and of the renounced order of life, sannyasa, O killer of the Keshi demon, master of the senses. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So now this is very interesting. What is Arjuna asking? Arjuna Uvacha. It is this chapter begins with the question of Arjuna. And this is a very important question. Right? He is asking, O mighty armed one, O Mahabaho, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation, Tyaga, and the renounced order of life, Sannyasa. See, Tyaga and Sannyasa. looks very similar. What is the difference then? Tyaga is also giving up, sannyasa also is giving up. This is the generic understanding that each one of us have. People generally have this understanding. Tyaga means giving up, sannyasa also means giving up. Then what is the difference now? He's saying Pratak Keshi Nishudana. O killer of the demon, Keshi, you explain me separately. What is this difference? I want to know the difference. This is what Krishna is saying. Very interesting, right? So let us understand this one by one. Very interesting. What is this? Question of Arjuna is the basis of this chapter, actually. This question of Arjuna forms the basis of the 18th chapter. Now we should understand what is sannyasa and what is tyaga. Arjuna also wants to understand. Please explain to me this separately. Right? So let us understand. This question has to be understood, and we should see how these questions are relevant to us. Now, if we ask any common man, if he reads this verse, he will say it appears as if this question is nowhere relevant to me. It is nothing to do with my life. What is this Tyaga and Sannyasa? What are you talking about, Prabhuji? You know, I don't understand any of this. When we don't connect with the questions of Arjuna, then we will not be able to understand, right? Because now both of these Tyaga and Sannyasa at a superficial level, at a surface level, it just appears that it is giving up. It's a literal translation. So, what Arjuna is asking is, see, in this society, there are two types of people. Who are those two types of people? One is a Tyagi, okay, and one is Sannyasi. So one is Tyagi, one is Sannyasi. Who is a Tyagi? Now, one who has given up, please understand. Tyagi is one who has given up the duties and responsibilities. And this fellow, Tyagi, he has given up because he wants to escape from responsibilities and duties. He is an escapist. So who is a Tyagi? He is a escapist. He wants to give up responsibilities and duties, all that thing, so that he doesn't experience the pain. Here is a person, a Tyagi, who wants to give up all his material duties, his family duties, his professional duties, all these different things he wants to give up. Why? Because there is some strain involved in any action, any responsibility, any work that you do. There is some amount of effort that is supposed to be put, right? Otherwise, without effort, without any pain, without any strain, there is no work like that. You have to work a little bit. Little strain will be there in any work, whether it is cooking or you go out, you study, or whatever it is, there is a little amount of effort. Effort means little strain. And but this person doesn't want any strain. And on top of that, he thinks I have to struggle and I'm uncertain of the results also. He's not certain. So he also has the fear of losing what he has. Then he has a fear of humiliation. Oh my God, if I perform the duties also, if I'm unsuccessful, then people will humiliate me. Oh, see, this fellow is good for nothing. He simply works here, there, but still he doesn't get any result. People might disrespect him. So fear of losing is there, fear of humiliation is there, fear of disrespect is there. So there is danger involved, right? Especially the danger of being compared to others. So, what is the best way? Best way is to escape. Tyaga. Let me not do anything. Let me not take responsibility. So, this is the idea that he has. He wants to give up because there is some uncertainty involved in the result. At the same time, he has a difficulty to put effort. So, he thinks that better, I give up everything. So, this person is called a Tyagi. Now, sannyasa also appears very similar externally. Externally, it is also like, oh, he is giving up everything and going. But when you see there is a sannyasi, people go and seek blessings from a sannyasi. They go and touch his feet and they seek blessings. Why? Because a sannyasi is a master of his life. Whereas a tyagi, he is a servant of his mind. He listens to the way his mind dictates and he goes that way. He is a confused person. A sannyasi is not a confused person. A sannyasi is evolved person. A tyagi is a very dissolved person. Sannyasi evolves, tyagi always dissolves. This is a difference now. One intelligently gives up, and other he is giving up unintelligently. So renunciation is there, although externally, superficially, it looks like giving up. But a tyagi unintelligently gives up things, but whereas a sannyasi he gives up things with intelligence, with knowledge. This is the difference. Now, Arjuna himself, in the beginning of the chapter, beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, was in this situation. He was confused, right? He wanted to become an escapist. Isn't it? We have understood, right? Arjuna wanted to go to the forest. Oh, Krishna, I don't want to fight. I don't want any of these responsibilities, duties, this fight, nothing I want. Because there is effort, there is pain, of killing others, of my guru, my grandfather. All that pain is there. And after all this, there'll be inside within me, there'll be guilt feeling of killing all these people, right? All that bloodshed will happen. So many reasons Arjuna is saying, he'll say, I don't want to do any of my responsibility of fighting. I will go to the forest. Arjuna wanted to become an escapist, a tyagi, right? This was his idea. He wanted to go to forest. He says, he tells to Krishna, it is better to go to the forest and live a life by begging than killing my grandfather and guru. Oh, this is all not required. Let me become a tyagi, right? There are many fake tyagis or fake sannyasis. They wear all saffron robes. They wear the saffron robe to hide their uh, impotency, to hide their irresponsibility, to hide their weaknesses. They cannot they don't have the courage to face life's challenges, right? They want to just put one saffron robe and appear as if they are sannyasis, but they are fake sannyasis. That dress is only like a wrapper to them, which wraps and covers their weaknesses. So that is not a real sannyasi. Instead, sometimes the opposite is true. Many people may be in ordinary pant and shirt, very regular dress, but from inside, he is really renounced. He's a real sannyasi. Many times when you see people something, it might be, they may be wearing normal clothes, but you look at them, you know that this person, is very detached. He's very spiritual and he's detached from the material things. So he's a sannyasi. So actually, externals doesn't matter at all. What dress you wear is really immaterial. But these people, escapists, they do all external show, all show off. Saffron dress, big dadi, big beard, big hair, everything they do. But they are escapists. They don't want to take any responsibilities. So this is a problem. So in our life also, we have understood this question. We have to understand. Otherwise, it is difficult. Why? Because, see, when we want to, or when we actually go and attend some spiritual discourses, we are told in every session, the Prabhuji tells, oh, detach from the material work, material world, it is going to bind you. Generally, any spiritual talk you listen, there is always some connect to detachment. There is some discussion on detachment from material thing, isn't it? So, when one hears such messages again and again and again, then what happens? A person slowly gives up all the detachment, not gives up the detachment, he gives us the attachment to the material things. right? He gives up the outer responsibilities, so to say. Especially when a person is very new to spiritual life and is again and again hearing from the Swamijis and Prabhujis that yes, we have to give up this material, give this material. And in that neophyte state, in a very initial state of spirituality, people think, ah, yes, Prabhuji has told, give up everything. Then he goes back to the home and tells that wife, oh, you are not my wife, you are not my child. You're all simply the dolls of Maya who have complicated and bound me, binding me to this material world. I'll give up all of you and go to the forest. Such a irresponsible person is called a tyagi. He is not a sannyasi. Very immature way of dealing with reality of life. Some people come like that. There are so many people who come and attend some sessions and they feel like, yes, now Prabhuji has told to give up everything, then we have to give up everything. And then they go and give up everything. And then the wife and children, they come crying to the temple and they say, oh, Prabhuji, see, he was so nice and loving and caring before he was coming to the temple. And now, after coming to his temple, he is totally changed. He has no more love and affection. He has totally changed. It's all because of you. They blame the temple, they blame the Prabhuji also, and they go. So, this is what happens immature way of dealing with spiritual life. Right? So, many people have this question also Prabhuji, then how do I balance my spiritual life and my material life? What is this? How do I really balance? Then there is a question of spiritual guilt also. Oh, Prabhuji is actually telling I'm going to the temple, I have to give up all these materialistic things, but I'm stuck here doing my worldly responsibilities. I'm not able to progress in my spiritual life. There is so much of struggle that I have to go through. The spiritual guilt starts coming. One way I'm not able to chant, other way, on the other side, I'm not able to perform my material duties properly, right? And if I go to the temple, the Swamiji is complaining, or he will question me about my spiritual life. Oh, are you chanting? Are you reading? And then you go at home, then the wife and the children and everybody is asking, they question my material life. So I'm stuck in between now. So this kind of situation happens, balancing spiritual life and material life. Prabhuji, how do I do this? Actually, for a seeker, a true seeker, spirituality is not a separate thing. It is not a separate thing. Spiritual life is very much a part of his daily routine. There is no separate thing called as spirituality. A true seeker, he ensures that all the work that he does it with the spiritual consciousness. There's nothing separate for him. This is a wrong notion that we have. Oh, my spiritual life is separate, my material life is separate. No, that is not what Krishna is talking to us. Krishna is telling everything that you do has to be spiritualized. Every work that we do, every speech that we give, everything should be spiritualized. Our life, life should itself become spiritual in nature. Right? Oh, Mahabao, please tell me. Mahabao means not big, big arms. Someone who has very great strength and big, very strong arms. No. Mahabao means you are the supreme controller of this world. Mahabao, you are supreme controller. So hence, you are the right person to answer me. Tell me what is the difference between Tyaga and Sannyasi is what Arjuna's question. And then he is also addressing uh, Krishna as Rishikesha. Rishikesha means the master of the senses, the lord of the senses, the master of the body. That's why he's called Rishikesha. Now, very interesting. You can actually do this homework. Krishna is addressing Arjuna by different names. O Partha, O Sabyasachi, O Dhanurdhara, O Dhananjaya. In different context, different names are being called to Arjuna. Now you study this in what context Krishna is telling these names to Arjuna. Similarly, Arjuna is also calling different names to Krishna. Now here he's addressing him as what? Rishikesha. He's addressing him as Mahabhao. So what is the context? You should understand. It's a nice homework that you can do actually. In the Bhagavad Gita, you see the just by understanding the names of Arjuna and Krishna, that itself is so wonderful. In what context they're calling each other like this. Actually, when they're calling these different names, Rishikesha, Mahabhav. It actually shows how much Arjuna also loves Krishna. See, when you are in deep connection, a very strong bond, you have a strong bonding with someone, then you have different ways to address that person. So when Krishna and Arjuna both are addressing each other with different names, it only shows that how much they have understood each other as friends, as that relationship, that bonding is very close. Because based on the different activities of that other person, I'm able to call him different names. So that means what? I love that person. I'm involved so much in with that person that everything is noticed. His actions are noticed, and I want to call him with different names. It's a sign of love. So that's why this can be a very nice homework that we can do. O Rishikesha, O Lord of the senses, O Lord of my body, mind, and intelligence, now you please understand and give me this right answers. Keshi Nishudana. We know that there was a demon, right? That horse demon, Keshi demon was there. Oh, Keshi Nishudana. You are the one who actually killed the Keshi demon. You are the one who actually um, uh, that horse demon was there. Now, horse is what? Horse represents Rajoguna. It is so rajasic in nature. Horse is very rajasic in nature. It is so rajasic that it sleeps while standing. It doesn't even lie down. Horse is very rajasic in nature. Always active, very, what to say, aggressive in nature. So so Lord, he hits this Keshi demon in the Bhagavatam. It comes, he gives him nice punches, and this Keshi demon every time he falls down and again he gets up, as if losing consciousness. Again he gets up. Finally, Krishna, excuse me, Krishna finally had to put his hand inside the mouth of Keshi, and then extend his hand and then kills him. So similarly, in our life also, we have to make God very big in our life. Then all our problems, all these demons will be dead. So Keshi Nishudana, oh Krishna Mahabaho Rishikesha, please explain to me the difference between Tyaga and Sannyasa. Right? This is what uh, Arjuna has asked. Very important question. So we cannot be escapist, basically. So now, what is the tattva of giving up intelligently? That we have to understand in the upcoming verse. Okay. So Vinodji, unmute yourself. Let's chant the next verse, the verse number 2. Verse number 2 says, very interesting. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Okay, I cannot
Okay, there
see.
is
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
kame kamyanam karmanam nyasam
Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam
sannyasam kavayo viduhu.
Sanyasam Kavayo Vidhu
सर्वकर्म फल त्यागम
Sarvakarma Falatyagam
प्राहुस्त्यागम विचक्षण.
Prahustyagam Vichakshanaha.
Wonderful. Let us read the translation. Please read the translation.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the giving up of activities that are based on material desire is what great learned men call the renounced order of life, sannyasa, and giving up the results of all activities is what the wise call renunciation, tyaga. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So now Krishna, before he gives his answer, Krishna is actually now talking about what is the opinion of others. What do great people talk about sannyasa and tyaga? He's not giving his answer. He's saying, oh, Arjuna, please understand that there are certain people who would understand the sannyasa and tyaga in a different way. Right? So this is what Krishna is talking here. So what Krishna is saying, kamyanam karmanam nyasam. So there are some kavayo viduhu, very intelligent people are there. And those people, they have a little different understanding. Now, what is the different understanding? Kamya karma tyaga. So for the wise people, Krishna or other people, some people are saying Kamya Karma Tyaga is what Krishna is saying here. What is the in one of the session earlier, we had discussed this very interestingly that there are five types of actions. There are five types of karma. What are those? One is the first is Nitya Karma. Nitya Karma means daily duty. Everything that you're supposed to do on a daily basis, Nitya Karma, like Saucham, early morning, brushing the teeth, taking bath every day, offering bhoga to the Lord, taking prasadam, right? So this is all called the Nitya Karma, daily activities that we are supposed to do, like chanting 16 rounds. So these are all what Nitya Karma, reading Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. These are all Nitya Karma. That is first one, Nitya Karma. Then there is second, that is Naimittika Karma. Naimittika Karma means there are some actions that we are performed to, that are supposed to be performed occasionally, occasional duties. Some festival has come, some marriage function has come, some other event has come. So occasional duties, those are supposed to be done. Right? When Janmashtami comes or there is a Vaikuntha Ekadashi or big festivals, we all go to the temple, visit the temple, if possible, do the seva there. These are all occasional duties that we are supposed to do. Naimittika karma. Then the third one is the kamya karma. Kamya karma means the actions which are motivated by our desires. We have certain desires, or you develop a desire that, oh, yes, I need to build a home, I need to go to this place or go to that place. I acquire certain possessions. So these are certain things that we get, our desires. We have a lot of desires, and to fulfill that desires, you perform some action. So that is called kamya karma, right? And then there is nishiddha karma, the fourth one. Nishiddha karma means prohibited action, something that you are not supposed to do. So in scriptures, there are many activities, there are so many things: no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. All these different things are explained in the scriptures. So prohibited action is the nishiddha karma. And then there is the fifth is prayashchitta karma. Prayashchitta karma means repentance. So by mistake, knowingly or unknowingly, we have done something wrong. So now you have to do prayashchitta so that you counteract the ill effects of the bad thing that you have done. Right? So that is called prayashchitta karma. Now what Krishna is saying here, karma and naimittika karma has to be done without fail. Every day, certain things you have to do. Nitya karma cannot be compromised. Naimittika karma also can be compromised, but as much as possible, we should not. We should try to do Naimittika karma also. Now, Kame karma is something that you are supposed to control it, in the sense this is under your hand. It is your choice. It's your free will. Kamya karma. That's what Krishna is saying here. Kamya karma means all those actions which you desire for. Now, please understand, this is very important thing to be noted, that if our life goes or becomes busy in fulfilling only kama karma, then there is a possibility that we will forget our nitya karma and naimittika karma. People get so absorbed. Oh yes, now I want to become successful businessman, successful entrepreneur, whatever it is. You become so absorbed in that kama karma that people may forget nitya karma. Daily chanting, daily puja. I don't have time, Prabhuji, for Nitya Karma. Occasional duties. Oh, I don't want to waste. I want to earn money. I cannot go to a marriage party or this party or this party. No, I cannot go. I don't have time. Temple festivals, no, I cannot do that. So they compromise Kamya Karma when it comes because they are so highly motivated by Kamya Karma. I want to become successful and great. So what Krishna is saying here, according to few people, Arjuna, some great people, they say that sannyasa means giving up kamya karma. Sannyasa means giving up the motivated actions. So one who gives up material desires, then he is a sannyasi. Now, true happiness doesn't come from the world, but comes from within. A sannyasi knows this very well. He doesn't look out for happiness from the external world. He has a very clear understanding of life that this life is to be enjoyed from within and not without. Outside, we cannot enjoy anything. The sannyasi knows it very clear. We all want happiness. The common denominator between you, me, anybody is happiness. We all want to be happy. But we are searching it outside. Krishna is saying sannyasi is one who looks for happiness inside. So now the question is, am I looking for happiness inside or outside? If you are looking for happiness inside, within yourself, then you are in the path of a sannyasi. If you are looking for happiness in the external objects, then you are not a sannyasi, you are a tyagi. Right? Sannyasi is very clear that I will get happiness only from within. And it is true. Anything that I get from the outside world will be temporary. No doubt there will be happiness, but it will be temporary. So that's why a sannyasi, what does he do? He minimizes his actions from the world outside. He minimizes action. He doesn't want to be involved so much in the external world. And he will maximize his actions inside. So he's very active inside. Means what? He meditates. He understands what type of emotions are coming with me. How am I developing my consciousness? So a sannyasi is very active inside. Externally, he'll be thinking, people will see that, oh, he is not performing any action at all. But inside, he is very, very active. Most materialistic people, they are externally doing a lot of things, but if from within, from the consciousness level, from the intelligence level, they are only working. Oh, today what I will get, tomorrow what I will get. They don't have a vision for future. A sannyasi is not like that. A sannyasi has a goal, a ultimate goal. He works for the future. But most people in the world, you see, what are they doing? Every day they are only working for roti kapada makan, day to day things only. They can't think beyond 10 days. They cannot plan anything beyond 10 days or a month. Right? And even if somebody does for a good amount of planning for a year, they'll not be able to stick to it. A sannyasi is not like that. He knows very clearly. So a sannyasi understands the source of happiness. He understands the scriptures very well and he has a pure mind. So, because he has understood the scriptures and he has a pure mind, now he will be very happy. A sannyasi, is not a person who sleeps comfortably. Oh, let me give up everything and no. He has thoroughly realized and hence he applies the techniques that he has learned in the scriptures to go higher and higher in meditations, to go higher and higher in his consciousness. So he works inside, internally. Correct? Now, how do I know that my meditation is successful? I'm developing my consciousness. The intensity of joy is going to increase more and more and more. That itself is a test that you're progressing spiritually. When you become very joyful, very blissful, and it is increasing, that means what? Your consciousness is evolving more and more and more and more. So this is what is important. So, such an evolved person, scriptures and great Rishi Munis, they ask such a person to take sannyasa because they know that he is now eligible, he is qualified. because he is evolved from within. So he is now qualified to take sannyasa. He is awarded moksha sannyasa yoga. Such a person who has worked from within so hard, he gets promoted. The scriptures say, yes, he is now promoted to be a sannyasi. He is a sannyasi, not a mithyachari. Mithyachari means one who pretends to be a sannyasi. Show off. He is not a show off sannyasi, right? Because he has worked from within. So, Pravarti Marga is for beginners. What is Pravarti Marga? Pravarti Marga means you enjoy everything, do everything, be in the world and enjoy. That's for beginners. Nivritti Marga means give up everything. All those things are for advanced people. We cannot give up. Artificially, we cannot give up things. So that's why our Krishna consciousness Prabhupada is designed in such a way that you utilize Yukta Vairagya. You utilize everything in Krishna's service. Food, gadgets, internet, whatever you use it for service of the Lord. That is Yukta Vairagya. That is Pravarti Marga. And doing this, slowly Nivritti will come. So Veda Purva is for beginners. Simple. Little basic understanding. Read Prabhupada books, spiritual books. It's very nice. Then there is Vedanta also, advanced. Vedanta is for very scholarly people, those who are advanced in spiritual life. Getting the point? So we need to follow slowly the Pravarti Marga and we will attain Nivritti as we progress in spiritual life. Okay, so for beginners in spiritual life, karma yoga is important. Karma tyaga is not suggested. Arjuna wanted to do karma tyaga and escape, but Krishna said, you cannot go actually, Arjuna. You don't have to do karma tyaga, but you can do karma phala tyaga. That is recommended by Krishna. Correct? Action in Krishna consciousness. So, or karmanyevadikara se ma phaleshu kadajana. Why Krishna is saying this? He's saying you do. You have a full right to do your duty. But karma phala, you give up. So, this is what is recommended to all of us. Don't be attached to the results, but you perform your actions. This is how it is important to do actions. This, I think George Washington, once he said that I pray as if everything depends on God and I work as if everything depends on me. So we have to be like that. We have to pray, we have to work in such a way that everything depends on God. Yes, my Lord, you are the one who does everything. This whole world is actually running on you. But then at the same time, we should work so hard. We should work for the pleasure of the Lord as if everything depends on it. Take responsibilities. That is very important. So, this is what Krishna has told. This is what Krishna has mentioned. Right? And Krishna has told that there are certain people who say that you have to give up. A sannyasi means give up the kamya karma. Right? The kamya karma is supposed to be given up. Now, let us go to the third verse. Okay. Divik, unmute yourself. Okay. Yeah, he's been added. Yeah. 1 second. Yeah. So, Divik, you can unmute yourself. Let's chant the
Yes, Prabhuji.
third verse. Third
Okay,
verse
Prabhuji.
is very important. त्याज्यम दोष वदित्येके
त्याज्यं दोषवदित्येके
कर्म प्राहुर्मनीषिणः
कर्म प्राहुर्मनीषिणः
यज्ञदान तपः कर्म
यज्ञदानतपःकर्म
न त्याज्यम इति चापरे.
न त्याज्यमिति चापरे.
Please read the translation.
Some learned men declare that all kinds of fruitive acts should be given up as faulty. Yet other sages maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So now, what Krishna is saying, some learned pen, Manishinaha. Manishina means, so there are some people, they declare that all kinds of fruitive activity should be given up. because they're faulty. What is happening is they are basically saying that uh, any action that you perform, it has certain dosha inside, dosha within it. So that's why you give up all the action, don't perform action, because whether papa karma or punya karma, you have to ultimately go through the result of that papa and punya karma. Both are going to bind you. Papa is also going to bind you. Punya is also going to bind you. So instead of doing this papa and punya karma, which is going to bind you, just give up everything. So there are some manishinas like that. So some intelligent people. Manishina means intelligent people, learned people. So and but yet there are some other people. They say that yagna, dana, tapa, at least these three things, yagna, dana, and tapa, should not be given up. So there are these two different opinions. So there are sages who differ. See, one is saying give up kama karma. Another set of people are saying, some manishinas are saying that we have to give up all types of actions because there is some dosha involved in that, to perform no karma at all. And yet there are some people who say that give up all the karmas, but three things should not be given up at any point of time. That is yagna, dana, tapa. So yagna, dana, tapa should not be given up. So these are the opinions of different people. So let us chant the next verse also. Who is there next? Dave, unmute yourself.
Yes.
Okay. So let us chant the next verse. Verse number 4. Nishchayam shruну me tatra
निश्चयं शृणु मे तत्र
त्यागे भरत सत्तमा
त्यागे भरतसत्तमा
त्यागो हि पुरुष व्याग्रह
त्यागो हि पुरुषः व्याघ्रः
त्रिविध संप्रकीर्तितः.
त्रिविधः सम्प्रकीर्तितः.
Please read the translation.
O best of the Bharatas, now hear my judgment about renunciation. O tiger among men, renunciation is declared in the scriptures to be of three kinds. Hare Krishna.
So very straightforward. So what Krishna is saying here, oh Bharata, see again Bharata, he's here talking, addressing Arjuna as Bharata, and he's also calling him as a tiger among men. See how Krishna is so nicely using these adjectives. Oh, tiger among men. So he's a tiger among men. Vyagraha, Purusha Vyagraha, very powerful. So Arjuna is like a tiger, giving him confidence actually, right? So this is one more thing. So here in this verse, Arjuna has heard now the opinions of other manishinas, other sages, right? Now listen to me and listen that Tyaga itself is of three types. So Krishna here is saying that Tyaga alone is of three types. Renunciation is declared in the scriptures to be of three kinds. Now, what is that? He is not mentioned immediately, but that is going to come up in the upcoming verses in the future. That Tyaga is of three types. That we will discuss later. But now we'll chant the next fifth and the sixth verse. Okay, so Hina Mataji, unmute yourself. Let's chant both the verses. Okay, and Krishnananda Prabhu is asking on YouTube, what is the question? Prabhu is saying that, Prabhu, how sannyasi and tyagi can be checked by some questions to identify, because externally both look the same. Yes, a very interesting question and a practical thing. So many times it so happens that since they are all wearing the saffron robes, right? And then how do we identify them? See, one thing is when a person artificially tries to give up certain things, doesn't mean that he has liberated from his past vasanas. Please understand now. Now, what is happening is we all have certain vasanas in our life, right? Each one of us, we have certain vasanas. Now, the vasanas are also pushing us to perform certain action. But this fellow, Atyagi, what he does, artificially is trying to give up things and lead a very comfortable life of no effort. But then what is happening? There are vasanas in his consciousness which ultimately force him to enjoy this material world because he's thinking that I will not enjoy. But those vasanas which are there to enjoy are still there. So by not performing any action, they are dormant there. But they will be vasanas means you have to act and purify them. That is what is Krishna consciousness. You have certain vasanas, you become spiritual, redirect it. But this fellow is trying to suppress. Now what happens? He's suppressing one day, 2 day, 3 day, fourth day. But gradually what happens? That pressure builds up. And because the vasanas are there, they'll somewhere burst. And then these people will be caught very badly. Today or tomorrow, these people will be caught. There are so many examples in the present world only. Today, you see, some people are sitting in the jail also. They all try to show to the people that I am a sannyasi. But then today they are sitting in the jail. Why? Because they got into so many nefarious activities. Right? They call themselves as spiritualists, but then they will all be exposed. You cannot artificially practice spiritual life. We may cheat others, we cannot cheat Krishna. So now what happens? These people who artificially give up certain things, you will see somewhere some addictions are there. Some people, they'll be sannyasis, but they'll all be having certain addictions. Wearing saffron clothes as if appearing to be sannyasis. No. They will basically, very one clear indication is they will not take any responsibility of anything that is happening in the world. Such people are not bothered about what is happening in the world, least bothered about doing anything. See, a sannyasi works for the welfare of the people. He goes out like Prabhupada. You could have nicely sat in Vrindavan. But no, after taking sannyasa, Prabhupada became even more active. He said, no, I will go to America now. And goes to America. Why? Because he wants to help people. He wants people to take up Krishna consciousness. And he goes. That is a sannyasi. Sannyasi means he is not worried about himself. He is worried about others. He does welfare activities. He wants to make people spiritual. But a tyagi is a laid back person. So this is the difference. They don't take responsibilities for anything. They try to become indifferent when it comes to taking up responsibilities. So uh, uh, enjoyment is very subtle for them. They enjoy the subtle things and they don't take responsibilities. They want name, fame, everything, but they don't take responsibilities. Oh, such a great yogi, such a great tyagi, given up everything. Ah, it's a very nice music that goes on when people glorify them like that. But they don't take responsibility for the people who are glorifying him. So for a very same people who are glorifying this such a person, they don't take any responsibility for benefiting them because he doesn't know anything. He has no scriptural knowledge. He has no idea what is spiritual life and what is happiness. He just want to escape. This is the difference. Okay, so they don't take responsibilities. So let us chant the fifth and sixth verse. So Hina Mataji, you can unmute yourself. Let's chant the fifth and the sixth verse. Let's see what Krishna is saying here. So very important. Yagnadana tapakarma
Yajnadana tapa karma
natyajam karyameva tat
natyajkam karyam eva tat
yagnodanam tapaschaiva
yagno danam tapaschaiva
pavanani manishinam.
pavanani manishinam.
Wonderful. Please read the translation.
Acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up. They must be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great souls.
Very nice. Let's also chant the next verse. Etanyapi tu karmani
एतानि अपि तु कर्माणि
sangam tyaktva phalani cha
सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलानि च
कर्तव्यानीति मे पार्थ
कर्तव्यानीति मे पार्थ
निश्चितं मतमुत्तमम्.
निश्चितं मतमुत्तमम्.
Please read the translation.
All these activities should be performed without attachment or any expectation of result. They should be performed as a matter of duty, O son of Pritha. That is my final opinion. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. We are interested in the opinion of Krishna. Whatever the great rishis, sages, any Manishina, anybody can give their opinions. But now Krishna is saying, you please understand, oh Arjuna, I am going to tell you something very important. And what is that? Yagna dana tapa karma natyajam karameva tat. Please understand, you cannot give up the acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance. Not to be given up. They must be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even great souls. See, this is very same word Krishna is saying. Pavanani manishinam. The manishinas who are saying that, okay, the acts of igna, dana, tapa has to be given up, to the very same Manishinas, Krishna is saying they should also perform Yajna Dana Tapa because that purifies them. Pavanani Manishina. Very important. So, Krishna wants action. He doesn't like laziness. People who are lazy, no, then he doesn't like. So that's why. Because what? Love means action. You cannot say, I love someone and say that I will not perform anything. Arey Baba, love means at least you have to go and express, no. At least go and speak something to that person. No, 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 I love that person very much, bro. And say that, at least say that. If you cannot even go and get some flower yesterday or day before, 2 days ago, there was some Valentine's Day. Oh, I love you very much. Arey, just saying is not enough. You should also express in some way. Some way you have to express so that the person feels that, oh, yes, this person loves me, right? So similarly, Krishna is a supreme person. He wants action. You cannot simply say, I love Krishna. Are no. Krishna says, you love me, then you have to perform action. Do seva. Yagna dana tapa should be performed. And this yagna dana tapa doesn't mean only in the ritualistic way, even in our day-to-day dealings with people. Yagna means what? Sacrifice. I've explained already how in relationships also we need to sacrifice. Dana, we have to give charity to our own near and dear ones sometime when they are in need, in some family member, friend, or whatever. In a good way, we have to do charity. Anybody who is in help, who is really requires certain help, temples are there. Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic charity we have discussed previously. Right? Tapaha, for our own purification, we have to do. So these acts should not be given up, given to the Manishinas. So now, these escapists, they are these Tyagis, they are completely against this. They don't want to do yagna, they don't want to do any dana, they don't want to do any tapa. This is what I mentioned. They want to be relaxed all the time. This is the problem. Krishna is saying, I don't like such people. Why? Because they are actually going away from purification. See, by doing yagna dana tapa, one is getting purified. But whereas a Tyagi, he is not doing yagna dana tapa, and his purification is on hold. They are not actually purifying themselves. So Krishna is saying that's useless. Human life is meant for purification. Correct? So then, after this, what Krishna is saying again in the next verse? Let us see. Now, why we have to purify the mind? Why? Because you know only when the pure mind is there, we can connect with Krishna a better way, right? And then in the next sixth verse, let us see what Krishna has told here. Krishna has told, Etani apitu karmani sangam tyaktva falani cha. Sangam tyaktva. And kartavya niti me partha nishchitam matam uttamam. My mata. What is mata? My nishchitam mata. Very confirmed, with full conviction, I am saying, oh Arjuna, what is that? It is my opinion, uttamam, very uttamam opinion that you have to perform yajna dana tapa, but sangam tyaktva falani. Means what? You have to perform action by not expecting any result. So, along with this yajna dana tapa, the dosha of action, like I told you earlier, every action there is it has some dosha in it, papa or punya, anything can be there, but it's a dosha. Why it's a dosha? Because it binds you, right? Now Krishna is saying the dosha of any action can be neutralized if there is if we give up the sangha attachment to it and also give up the phala. So Sangha and Phala, all this attachment to that particular activity and the result of that particular activity should be given up. Once that is given up, then the dosha which is there in that particular karma, that will not be there. So there are so many benefits of performing such actions, yajna, dana, tapa. There are benefits. So you take advantage of these benefits. So if you are detached from the phala and not attached to the work, then one is unaffected by such actions. This is the best way, and there will be no more confusion, O Arjuna. So, Krishna very beautifully has explained that it is so simple for each one of us to lead a very happy life, very, very clear life by giving up things, become a sannyasi. Sannyasi doesn't mean only wearing the dress, saffron dress, but at the same time, developing true detachment from within. That is what we have to do. That is real success. Any questions? Any doubts? So we have discussed 6 verses today. Rest everything. What are those uh, yajna dana tapa in different actions? All those things we will understand in 3 modes of material nature, right? We will understand those things in detail. Very important chapter. Anything that you want to ask? Anything, any questions, any doubts? So, 18th chapter, we have some very deep, very interesting verses for every sadhaka. And not this month, February. February will go and try to do it only on Sundays. Next Sunday, I'm traveling to Goa. So, I have a speaking engagement there. So next Sunday we may not have session. We may have it maybe next week. Like I told you, after coming back from there, we can have continuous sessions so that we take up every weekend. We can have Saturday, Sunday, two sessions. We can every weekend we can have 2 sessions, Saturday, Sunday. So that chapter 18 we can try to finish up as soon as possible. By end of March, we'll try to finish chapter 18. So we will complete the whole Bhagavad Gita by March. We'll try to target by March. We'll finish off 18th chapter, and then we will try to take up some very specific, important things from topics, spiritual topics. We will take up before we begin Bhagavatam. Okay, and then we will go enter into Bhagavatam. That's the plan. So by March, we will try to finish up the 18th chapter.
Yes,
Any questions?
Prabhuji, looking forward to Bhagavatam also.
Yes, we will begin Bhagavatam very soon because first we will try to have the overview of Bhagavatam and then the in detail, subject wise, we can take some very interesting Bhagavatam. Amazing things are there. It is so wonderful actually because Bhagavatam explains the practical applications of Bhagavad Gita actually. All these things in a more detailed way we can understand. Bhagavatam, amazing stories are there. So many wonderful, inspirational things are there. Motivational things are there. So we can go so much in detail with Bhagavatam. We will try. How we will try to structure it in such a way that it becomes very easy for us to digest, not verse by verse, but section by section, so that we understand the context better. Because 18,000 verses, it's really massive. So we need to go section by section. And then any time you read it individually, we go through a section, you read those verses, few verses in a week, and you might get some questions. And then you can ask those questions. So that way we can progress in Bhagavatam. Okay, good. Very nice. So all of you take care, keep chanting, and read Bhagavad Gita. And we will try to see you soon again, not the next Sunday, but after that, every weekend we will try to have sessions, Saturday and Sunday, two sessions, and then try to finish 18th chapter by March. Okay, take care. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna.
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna, Vinodji. Hare Krishna, Divik. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Devji.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Divik. Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji and Krishnananda. Thank you so much for joining on YouTube. Thank you. Hare Krishna.